that was over there.
Alright, not sure if you'll be able to hear me too well because of the falls, but we're all packed up here at Bypass. Just getting ready to shove off and head down to Travers. Probably run Rocky Chute. And we'll probably portage Devil's Cellar, Temptations, and Poplar Rapids. Get us to the put-in at Travers. My wife Sarah and my girls will probably be there waiting for us with a restock of food. And then we're set to camp somewhere on Travers for tonight. Should be a busy day. Looks like we might get some weather either today or tomorrow. But tomorrow night we're in the cabin, so that shouldn't be so bad. Looks like it washes us quite a bit left. We probably start a bit further right. Just kind of straight ahead from here. So that's the bottom of Rocky Chute, and now we're headed for the portage around Devil's Cellar. $5.50. Alright, so just on the portage, $5.50. Around Devil's Cellar. After this we have the kilometer portage around the Temptations, and then a 660 around Poplar Rapids, and that will take us to Lake Travers, where my wife Sarah and my two girls are supposed to be there. Some more food and take away some of our garbage and bring us in a couple other things. Have a little visit, have some supper with them, and then off to our site on Travers. Partway down this portage, there's a sign right here where you can turn off and head up to Mcmanus Lake, where we visited in my last video. The bugs were horrendous. $26.50 from here up to Mcmanus. So far the trip's been going pretty smooth. None of the days seem overly hard. Our food packing seems to be pretty good. Eating really well. And we have a couple good days left. Travers, Crooked Chute Cabin, and then the Natch or schooner somewhere down in there, and then down at Mcmanus for the last night. Alright, so we just portaged all of our gear and the canoe and everything to the end of the portage, and we found a bunch of huge blueberry patches on the trail, so we're going to fill up a bottle so that we have some for the rest of the trip and have a couple to give to the girls as well. Alright, so we're all done the portage around the Temptations. It started raining a bit. We're just making our way down to the portage around the Poplar Rapids, and that puts us at Travers. Probably a little bit early, but we'll have time to go scout out a site so we can get all settled in and hope to stay dry again tonight. Right, so I decided to do a little video to recap the trip so far. So we started by entering the Sand Lake Gate, and then we drove in and dropped Steve's car off at Access 21 at Mcmanus. We then had to drive all the way out and around and up with my truck, and we entered in at Wendigo, Access 25. So we put in here at Wendigo, paddled our way down, did the 180 meter portage into Allen Lake. That's where we forgot our axe at the start of that portage. We continued paddling down and camped on this island for the night. The following morning I paddled back up and grabbed the axe, and then we got ready and continued on down through Allen onto North Depot. Continued our way down. We skipped the 255 and we skipped the 770 with a lot of work. We're doing the pullovers and everything. We enjoy lining the canoes down through there, but yourself you may not. It's a lot of work and a lot of hassle. You'd probably be better off to just maybe do the portage, but it can be fun if you're up for the work to skip by. And then we continue on down the North River. Then there was the 390 here as well that we skipped over. Again, you might be better off just to do the portage, save yourself the hassle, and it can be dangerous. You can hurt yourself, and I wouldn't recommend skipping it, but for us, we enjoy it. So then we did the 230. It was a portage we thought was into Clamshell, but it actually wasn't. And then we had the other 330 right after that we did, and it took us to Clamshell. There's only the one site there, and that's where we stayed for the night. And they had the swinging rope, which was fun. It was a nice site, not the best tent pads, but very, very nice swimming there, and had some good fishing right off the shore. So we left there first thing in the morning. It was kind of cloudy and overcast. Came across the lake with the higher water levels, we were easily able to skip this portage, as well as this one after we went through Shoal Lake. As we were coming out onto Radiant, it was quite windy. We came across and checked out this campsite over here, which turned out to be very, very underused, full of rocks and logs, and I wouldn't recommend that site for anybody. And then this site here we've stayed on in the past. It's a nice site. You get really nice sunrise, but it was wide open to the wind, and with the type of weather we had, we opted to just paddle back and in to this campsite on the Petawawa. It was a little more sheltered. It wasn't very big, but it served its purpose, as we didn't get the big winds and stayed out of the stormy weather a bit. So from there, the next morning, we paddled out and across Radiant into the wind the whole way. We got over into this area, did some fishing down through here, and some more fishing down through here, ran through Squirrel Rapids, picked up a few bass coming down through there, and then we got to Big Sawyer and Battery Rapids. So this one, we portaged a bit of our gear to the end of the portage. So on the way back, we came up and walked on the railroad bridge. And from there, we could scout the line we wanted to take down. And then we went back up, came down with just half our gear. It was a nice run, nice big water levels, nice big waves, not as many rocks to dodge. It was a good run through there. And then we continue on down to Cascade and Whitehorse. That again was very fun, big waves, not as many rocks, just a lot of fun coming down through that section. And we continued on down to Mcmanus Lake. Stayed on this site right here. It was pretty rainy, and we set up our tarp and just pretty well called her a night. But it's always a nice spot to stay there. You get a nice sunrise and you have a nice sandy beach. We woke up the next morning to a nice hot day, and then just paddled our way on down Francis. Ran Francis Rapid, and then on through Killdeer Rapid. Both rapids were fun, lots of water, big waves, which is kind of how this trip went. In the past we've gone up to Blueberry Falls, but this year we decided to just keep on going. Just kept right on going down to Wagtail. Ran right through there. No problems. And then on to McDonald. So McDonald, in the past we've gone through, and there's only sections you can run. Other sections have waterfalls. So rather than going in and lining and in and out of the canoe the whole time, we just opted to do the 1,500 meter, 1,400 meter portage down the railroad track. So we went down the track and we stopped here for a bit, just to check out the waterfall and see what it was all like, and ended up seeing the big snapping turtle. And then we just continued our way on to Bypass Falls. Stayed at the site down here, right at the bottom of the falls. And then there's also the spring just up above the falls along the railroad tracks. So we always like to stay at this site. It's a very nice site, nice view. It's got the spring. Just a favorite for us. And then we continue on in the morning down to Rocky Chute. We portage around that one. Along the portage, it was just full of blueberries. Oh no, Rocky Chute, we ran, sorry. Yeah, we ran through Rocky Chute, and then Devil's Cellar we portaged around, and that's the one that had the blueberries all over the portage trail. And then the Temptations as well. It's a lot of in and out of the boat, and we just felt like getting on with the day because it was raining. It wasn't a very nice day, but again, that portage was full of blueberries the whole way along, so we picked a full Nalgene bottle full of blueberries on those portages. And then we made our way down to the 660 around Poplar Rapids. We portaged that and then got to Travers, and once we were there, we had to meet up with Sarah and the girls. Alright, so we made it down to Travers. We set up the tent in the parking lot because we're here a couple hours early. Still waiting for Sarah and the girls to get here. When they get here, we gotta switch over some of our stuff out of our barrels, get all prepped, and then try and find ourselves a site for tonight. It's been raining almost all day today. Steve's just down there organizing some stuff in the canoe. So once we get the other stuff, we're able to switch it all out. Alright, so the girls made it. Brought us in some Subway. Steve's almost down to foot long already. We're sharing our blueberries we picked this morning with the girls. Haley's on her third handful. So we got a resupply, and now we just got to pack everything back up and try and find a campsite on this lake. It's still raining, still wet.